What's up, y'all? This is Boxingwave. I'm here to talk about Gary Russell Jr. against Vasyl Lomachenko, okay? I already did a video. I did a video speaking on the politics of the fight, um, Lomachenko and his record, being a pro fight, his third pro fight, and he's already getting his second title shot, okay? I spoke on his amateur background. I spoke on his past fight. Same thing with Gary Russell Jr. I spoke on his, you know, I believe I spoke on his amateur career. I spoke on his professional career, how a lot of people feel that he hasn't fought anyone. Okay, I'm not in this video. I'm not going to discuss anything about their opposition or anything like that. Okay, this video here is just to talk strictly about the fight. All right, who I think is gonna win this fight and how, and I'm gonna break the fight down. I know a bunch of you guys gonna come in here and say, well, Gary Russell didn't fight anyone, or Lomachenko was only in his third professional fight. All right, this is a 50-50 fight. This is a pick'em fight. A lot of people that like Lomachenko, they're gonna pick Lomachenko because they like him better. Okay, a lot of people like that think Gary Russell is gonna win is because they either think Gary Russell is better or they just dislike Lomachenko because he's getting his third or his second title shot in his third professional fight. So I'm not going to get into any of that. I just wanted to clear all of that up, okay? Now let me speak on the fight. Gary Russell Jr. When you watch a Gary Russell Jr. fight, all right, you watch the fight, you be like, oh. You know what? You go in there, he's so explosive, okay? You watch his fight, and the reaction you get, very explosive. Hand speed is crazy, out of this world. Power, everything, very explosive. He's a technical fighter, but he's very explosive. He can turn it up in a matter of 2 seconds, okay? Very explosive fighter, okay? You go and watch a Gary Russell Jr. fight. You go back and watch a Vasyl Lomachenko fight, and you just be like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. This fight was really hard to call because Lomachenko really is that good. Let's forget about the Orlando Salido fight, all right? Not forget about it, but the thing about that fight is Orlando Salido is a different type of fighter, okay? He is a brawler, and he came in with his experience and all and attacked the body and just kept coming forward. Lomachenko does not throw a lot of punches. You got to remember, Salido came in that fight very, very overweight, okay? He came in weighing as much as a welterweight. All right, he lost the belt because he was overweight at the weigh-in. All right, so you got to remember the size advantage, coming in, attacking the experience. I mean, listen, he won the fight. He fairly won the fight. I believe that was a split decision. It shouldn't have even been a split decision. Okay, but I think I'm not gonna get into that fight. All right, Lomachenko has skills. Okay, this kid, he's very slithery, all right? He does the majority of each minute of each round, he might just throw a few punches. The majority of the round, he is just moving around the ring. His footwork is really, really good, okay? He's all about timing. They're both southpaws. Lomachenko has good hand speed too, right? Very good hand speed. Has power too, but he's all about timing. He doesn't throw a lot of punches, okay? He's all about being efficient. He wants to make every punch count, okay? Be effective. Whereas Gary Russell is a little bit, he's technical, but he throws a lot more punches than him. He's kind of flat-footed, so he's just going to be slowly moving forward towards Lomachenko, where Lomachenko is going to be dancing around, going inside, outside, circling Gary Russell. Not really throwing too much, but when he throws something, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? When he does throw and connect with something hard, I don't know about you guys. I never seen Gary Russell seriously hurt. I never seen him down before. I don't know. I watched a good amount of his fights, but I never seen him seriously hurt or down on the canvas before. I don't know, but I don't know how tough his chin is. You know what I'm saying? I think Lomachenko has pretty good defense. He has really good defense. Gary Russell is usually in control of the fight to a point where we never seen him backing up. I never seen him backing up or anything. I never seen him in any kind of trouble. He's usually leaves himself open because he's a good counter puncher and everything, but he's usually open to get hit, you know. And he's willing to trade with you. Sometimes he wants to trade and he starts throwing a lot of wild looping shots, leaves himself very open, okay? But his offensively, he is like one of the best out there, okay? With the hand speed, the power, you know what I'm saying? He's really, really good, all right? Now, the way I see this fight going, Lomachenko, first couple rounds, Gary Russell is going to win a lot of rounds because of his activity, okay? Gary Russell, if he was smart, he would do what Orlando Salido did and attack the body. He's very good at attacking the body, and he is very powerful, okay? So he can definitely hurt Lomachenko. Attack the body, slow Lomachenko down, because Lomachenko, his whole style of fighting is based on his leg movement, okay? His legs, he's always running around, you know, not running, but he's always on the inside. And that's the thing, a lot of people don't think Lomachenko can't fight on the inside. He does not stay in the pocket. He doesn't stay in the pocket, but he has some good inside game. This is, once he's in, he's out. He's always moving. Tell you, he's very slithery. He's like a Thundercat or something. He's like a Thundercat, all right, for real. All right, he's really quick, all right, real swift. So he could be rangy, but even when he's rangy and he's staying on the outside, he's always moving, all right. He has good combination. He throws 2-3 punch combination real quick, but he's out of there real quick, all right. So the majority, if this is like, let's say no one gets dropped, okay? I think there might be some flash knockdowns in this fight, all right? Even with Gary Russell Jr., because Gary Russell Jr. he leaves himself open, and Lomachenko does have power, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if Gary Russell Jr. gets hurt in this fight, all right? But he is very capable of hurt Lomachenko as well, okay? Especially with them body shots, and especially if they end up trading at any point, at any given point, all right? Then Gary Russell would have the better of that, all right? But I just think the way the fight is gonna go, Lomachenko, if no one that gets knocked out, and this is a decision, if this goes to decision, this goes 12 rounds. I think this is gonna be 12 rounds. I'm not sure. I think this is gonna be 12 rounds. Of course, it's gonna be. This is for the. This is a title shot. It's gonna be 12 rounds. Gary Russell is gonna win by decision if it go to 12 rounds, because Gary Russell is going to be the busier fighter, okay? And he's an efficient puncher, okay? He's good at timing too. The only thing is, does he has a chin? If he has a chin and Lomachenko can't seriously hurt him, I don't think it would be too much of a problem for Gary Russell. But if he is exposed this fight and Lomachenko does hurt him, okay? If he does hurt him, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble, because Lomachenko, I don't see him having any trouble with hitting Gary Russell Jr. because of he has excellent timing, okay? I think this fight is a better matchup for Lomachenko stylistically than the Orlando Salido fight, okay? Stylistically, because Gary Russell is not a brawler. He's not a pressure fighter like Orlando Salido is, okay? Gary Russell is more of a technician, even though he could be explosive, even though he throws a lot more punches than he does. I still think this is a better matchup for Lomachenko stylistically, okay? Both of them are southpaws. Both of them have a lot of slickness to them. Both of them have speed, power, all right? Lomachenko has the advantage with his foot movement and everything, but it's definitely a pick-em fight. You got to go either. A lot of fights lately been 50-50 fights in my opinion, and this one is definitely a 50-50 fight. My personal opinion, I'm going to pick Gary Russell. The reason why I'm picking Gary Russell is because I'm taking his experience as his advantage as a professional fighter, okay? We know that he hasn't fought the best opposition, okay? He has fought a lot of bums, okay? But talent-wise, you can make the argument for both fighters. And talent-wise, I've just seen more with Gary Russell. I am, more impressed with what I see with Gary Russell on a consistent basis. I don't think Lomachenko throws a lot enough punches. He's not aggressive enough for him to beat Gary Russell. 12 rounds. I think Lomachenko's best chance of beating Gary Russell is by knockout, okay? He has great timing. He can hurt Gary Russell if Gary Russell does not have a chin, all right? We're going to see how good these fighters are. I cannot wait to do the post-fight video for this fight, because after this fight, this will determine how good these guys really are. Gary Russell, both Gary Russell and Vasyl Lomachenko. A lot of people are saying, and you know what, let me bring this last point up about Lomachenko, because I'm seeing a lot of people saying this. If Lomachenko loses this fight, this is not going to be the end of his career, okay? You guys need to calm down. He's still really early in his professional career. All this, Lord, if he does lose, all this will do is humble him. All right, you know what? We got 2 championship fights. We lost both, okay? Let me start my professional career now. Slow it down. Let me start, you know, building up, fighting opponents that's not on a championship level, for I can build up my experience, because he moved in too fast into the professional, you know, the bigger fights as a professional, you know, so early in his career. I'm tired of people saying that it's going to be the end of his career. Top Rank is ruining his career. This is something that Lomachenko wanted, okay? He wanted to come in, start fighting top competition right away because of his amateur background, all right? Top Rank shouldn't have let him do it, but it is what it is at this point. If he loses, all right, it's not the end of his career, okay? He can lose this match and start fighting, you know, guys that are not on a championship level, okay? And go 40 wins from here. You know what I'm saying? You never know. There's plenty of, it's just like in basketball. There's guys that come straight out of high school, okay? Kobe Bryant, you know what I'm saying? He came straight out of high school. Yeah, he wasn't that great his first couple of years, but look what he did later, midway through his career. Same thing with LeBron James. Wasn't as nearly as good as he was when he first was a rookie to when he was midway through his career, when he was on Miami Heat and everything, all right? There's just a couple examples right there, all right? His career is not going to be over, all right? So I'm very excited for this fight. I'm glad that a lot of these fights are hard fights to call. You know what I'm saying? Both fights, I like both fighters. And even if Gary Russell loses, you know, I don't think his career is done or anything. But I'm willing to see, what I want to see from Gary Russell is how good his chin is. You know, I don't think he's best. I don't think he's nearly as good as Lomachenko on the defensive end. But if he has a good chin and he's very durable, we'll see this fight. Then I'll be impressed, and then maybe we can get big fights. But I'll talk more about that in the post-fight video, all right? So anyway, let me know what you guys think of the fight, and make sure you subscribe to the channel.